After that conversation with you, I started applying that. I started applying that technique, and it worked. It really bloody worked.
I'm just trying to tell you that it's your movie, it's your scene. You are the actor, so who do you wanna be?
Man, it was brilliant. Cam called me up. It was actually the other day, and I've only just got around to editing it because I've so much going on in my mind. But yeah, I had a really, really cool chat with Cam. We ended up talking for over 2 hours, and like I waffled on a bit, but some really good stuff. Some really good stuff was discussed, and I talked about some of the huge changes in my persona, in me, that I've knowingly, willingly made, because I understand now that this is a movie. This is my movie. I know what character I'm playing. I know what character I'm here to play, and everybody can actually do that. Everybody can reconnect with themselves and find and remember exactly what it is that they want to do. Because I don't know if you're like me, but I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to change the world.
I can hear you now. It's really loud out there. It's amazing how much background noise there is, and we just kind of blank it out. You don't realise until you're trying to hear something quiet. When you're trying to hear something quiet, there's just too much noise. And I think that's quite a... Come on, Alf, I'm not bringing you in. It's all right, we're going out again. This, because you're a martial artist.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Nice. Are they training in there?
They're training it now. If you
Yeah,
can
I
hear
could
it.
hear 'em.
Maybe
Yeah,
you
I can, yeah.
It's, yeah.
It's a big
really
school.
good.
Oh.
It's been going even like all through COVID and that, pretty much. It was funny. It's funny watching them
They
rock
get going.
their masks, rocking up in their masks, and then taking them off when they go in there to go and have their close contact sport. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
And then when they come out, putting them back on again. Like, what the fuck?
At least they take when they're training. Some people don't.
I can show you the views. Man.
So what happened with the volcano out there? Anything, or was that all just media?
Nothing's happening with this volcano.
They tried to hype it up for a while, and they were going, "Oh my God, there's smoke everywhere, and it's going off." And I'm thinking, Richie would have told me if something was going off. I think this is crap.
Nah,
doesn't look like there's much going on.
Pure fear, man. Pure fear.
All show. Yeah.
As with everything, isn't it? As with everything that they're doing. It's all about fear. And even right down to accepting who you are.
Of course.
That's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about. So we've got such a beautiful, it's so perfect, dude, because you knew me before and you know me now. And actually, right, that's in every sense. That's in every sense. So, you know, I've written the song, Originals.
We are the originals. I said we are the originals.
The camera now, so you can see this. It's beautiful. So I wrote a song a couple of days ago called Originals. I know that those are cam clouds, I know that, but it still looks really
They
still
look
looks
like
beautiful. It's like
the buildings are nice. Huh? It's like I'm serious.
Yeah, beautiful buildings. It's and the mountain, man. I wish I could zoom. Like the top of the volcano looks like there's. If you look, you can see where the tree is, and then just to the right of the tree,
Yeah.
that's the volcano, and then next to it is I call it the mannequin. So what I was saying, Cam, is the last conversation that we had was quite heavy. I was feeling really, really down, and I think you would have sensed that. I bet you could feel that. You could feel that in my energy. You're awesome because you make me think differently. You know, I get stuck thinking about something. I get stuck in a way of thinking about it, and even right down to what you told me about kicking them into the sun. You know, the thoughts, wrapping them up in that Baker wrap stuff or whatever, the plastic cellophane wrap, wrapping them up tight, sticking them in a bucket of concrete, and boosh, kicking them out into the sun. And that was what it gave me, was this different perception of where I'd said to you, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I've been doing the same thing, but all I've been doing is knocking them away, bouncing them away from me. So they still exist. They're still there, bouncing around me, and they're just waiting for another opportunity to pop in when I'm feeling low. But your way destroys them. So after that conversation with you, I started applying that. I started applying that technique, and it worked. It really bloody worked. Now, fast forward to last Tuesday. Last Tuesday was a huge energetic shift on Earth, massive. The 2nd of November, astrologically, it was fucking huge.
Yep, I remember.
Right? And it affected people in different ways, didn't it? I don't know if you were affected by it. Did you feel it?
Oh fuck yeah! I got smashed.
Yeah.
I was in bed for 3 days.
Oh, you had gastro. Yeah, shit, man.
It wasn't.
It
wasn't
bad.
actual gastro.
It hit you in your sacral.
It was. It's basically, my body couldn't keep up with how fast my spirit was sort of rising up, and it would just fucking shat itself.
And it made you sort of you lost your equilibrium, kind of thing. You didn't make you dizzy, but it put you down. It took you out, didn't it?
It put me down. Yeah, it took out my body. Yeah, definitely for almost all last week. Even by Thursday, I was up. I was up and about, but I was just smashed. I just got hammered. That's all right. So that's kind of the way I do. I want everything now, so they always say, "You sure?" And I'm like, "Just give it to me," and then I smash it. I'm like, "Okay, should remember that for next time, shouldn't I?" But I always forget.
Yeah, man. We're back calm. I can plug my phone in. I don't have to worry about it. So where did I get to? Tuesday last week, I had the most incredible headache, dude. It felt like there was something crusted up on the back of my brain, inside my skull. It felt like it had started to calcify and push my brain in. What is this? This is your hippocampus, isn't it? At the back. It's pushing my hippocampus. Oh, and it was horrible, man. And when I went I thought like I had the perception of calcium, because when I went like this, it just went. The cracking, and I could hear it all cracking and crunching and grinding, and I go like that, And I know from past experience, I've asked an ex-girlfriend, can you hear that when I do that? And she goes, oh my God, yeah. So whatever it is, right? So it's all like that. I'm doing that. It's like, oh my God, I'm really fucking, but it wasn't getting me down. It was like, if this is going to try and be a migraine, it can fuck off. It can do one because I feel really good. Had all this really, really positive energy. I didn't know where it was coming from. It was like, ooh, something's coming, something good's coming, man. Yes. But I was still in Richie mode. I was still in 007 mode. Anyway, so Tuesday, big thing of energy. And then this headache, I can't sleep. This headache's driving me crazy. 4 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call on Skype, right, from a friend that I hadn't. Well, actually, no, he left a comment on YouTube, and because I was there and I saw it, so I replied straight away. And so then he called me, right? His channel name, excuse me, has changed. So when he left the comment, I was like, who the fuck is that? He seems to know me. So I went to his channel, and the only reason I could see it was him was because of the down in the, you know, in the original username is down in the thing. So it had his name down in there, his original channel name. I was like, no fucking way. So I replied to him and said, yo, Mr. Nuts, long time no speak. And then he called me on Skype.
Oh, Nuts. N-U-T-Z. I remember that name.
N-U-T-T, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts, yeah.
1970 something. Mr. Nuts, 1970.
Yeah.
I can't remember. 1976, I think. So he, so many people misunderstand Mr. Nuts. They don't get it. They think that he's just a fucking negative downer who just puts a negative downer on everything you say. And his outlook on the world and what's going to happen is just a negative downer. And I thought that up until this week. This week, something clicked and I realized what was going on. Last week, when I spoke to him, I still perceived it as this negative downer kind of character. But what it was doing was it was fueling me. Right? And I was like, no, mate, no, you're wrong. And it was really good. It was like my ego came up, but it didn't come up all fucking, you know, angry and bleh. I came back as more childlike, being like, no, mate, you're going to eat your words. I'm going to make you eat your words. Do you want some ketchup with them? I've got salt and pepper, and we can do any spices or condiments that you want. I will serve you with your words. Would you like a nice? I don't serve alcohol, but I've got some milkshake, right? And that's how it was, like constantly. But he does say, he says to me, I would like that, man. I am prepared for that. I just don't think it's going to happen. But here's hoping, you know, and if he does have to, we'll have a fucking beautiful banquet, a party, and he'll enjoy every mouthful of those words, and he will enjoy them because it will mean that I'm right and he's not. He's and the reason I'm right is because the way I see it is that this at the moment maybe a year ago it was like that. It's going to take 10 years. We're going to have all this shit for 10 years. Right? But I'm saying to him, no, mate, we won't. We won't have this shit for 10 years. Not a chance. This shit's going out the window quite soon, man. For us, at least. For them, maybe not. For them, maybe they'll still be trapped. But we are on a different plane, mate. We're flying somewhere else, and it's really beautiful. And we're creating it right now. Right now, we're creating it, right? And so our conversation was just like boom, 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 boom. And at the end of it, I was like, there's no way I'm going to sleep now, man. Raw! I was full of creative energy, and I just started. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I did on the this is on a Wednesday, but I was awake still at 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday night, Thursday morning, when he phones again last week. And we had this, like the conversation that we had after, at the end of it, I said to him, dude, that was the most fucking amazing conversation I've had in my life. Like, seriously, in my life ever. The best conversation I've ever had. I've got to show you this. Got to show you.
Is he on your feet?
He's trying to get Alfie. Him and Alfie have been good mates for a while. Alfie's like, oh, fuck off my tail, man. What are you doing?
He's very at home, isn't he?
Yes. Yes, and he was a feral cat that I couldn't go anywhere near last year. What does that tell you?
Wow. Yeah.
So anyway, right, had the second conversation at 4 o'clock in the morning again the next day. So till 7 o'clock in the morning, we're talking 7 in the morning. And it was even better than the conversation we had the night before. And I said to him again, oh my fucking God, mate, if we'd recorded that, that would have been the best content on the internet, bar nothing. That conversation was the best conversation that I've ever had in my entire life. It knocked that one out of the park from yesterday. Right? And I was filled again with all this energy. And I ended up I was awake. I couldn't sleep for 4 days. For 90 hours, I was awake. Right? I had peripheral hallucinations going on. I had times when my vision went blurry, double vision, couldn't focus, when I couldn't keep my eyes open, when I stood up and my legs were shaking. I was like, yeah, I've got to lay down. I'm going to try and go to sleep. I'm trying to go to sleep, and then this little voice goes, Rich, you've got to take the dogs out. And I go, oh, shit, yeah, I've got to take the dogs out. Fuck it, right, come on then, boys. And then it's like they gave me all the energy that I needed. But what happened was I felt like I'd slept for 8 hours. And I was full of the energy of having slept for 8 hours, right? I worked out this week what happened and what was happening, and I'll explain that in a minute. So, Thursday, did you see the conversation that I was having with Misha Orsamo?
Yeah, I listened to it, yeah. The one that,
right.
Yeah.
And then we moved it into a private chat because I realized, oh my God, not everybody wants to hear a sort of personal, it wasn't personal, but we were having a personal interaction with each other. We were having a conversation with each other, but it's like we're stood in the middle of the room shouting, like, blah, 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 just shouting at each other, you know? It's like, no, let's take this out here. Nothing funny about it. Let's just go and talk. Hello, Red. You coming up? All right, mate. Hello, mate. Hello, mate. I can just rag him around like he's a doll. Well, a rag doll now. He's funny. Anyway, it's right. When I say her name, Misha Orsamo, now I'm like, how the fuck did you not know that was a girl?
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
Right. And I think it's because the energy that I was getting, the energy that I was getting wasn't a girl's energy. It was just like a mate. It was like it just seems like a mate. So it's probably a bloke, right? But I didn't know. Anyway, it was a picture of her profile pic is a picture of Towley.
You want to get high?
So we connected. I'd left that voice message about, I think people will get me better if they hear my voice. They'll connect to me better. They'll feel the energy from me if they hear my voice. And it would be really nice if other people were doing that rather than typing out all the messages. If you want to get to know somebody better, leave a voice message so that they can hear you. Then they can picture you in their mind. in their mind's eye. And this is all about imagination and, you know, being able to get a feel of someone.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to get to know people, then it's, you know, and if we're in this group, that's what we're doing, isn't it? We're sharing information and trying to get to know our fellow awakened beings. This is supposed to be coming together into a community where we all trust each other and we do magic. We make magic things happen, like crystal cities appear, right? You're not going to make a crystal city appear anywhere if you guys don't trust each other. If there's any element of mistrust between any of those people that are trying to create that thing, you won't create it. You have to trust each other. There has to be an unconditional love between you. You have to have, that's the connection between you that powers whatever it is that you're trying to do. That unconditional love connection between all of you, the trust within that family, that's what gives extra power to what you're trying to manifest, right? And this is a download I'm getting right now as I'm talking to you. It's just like, yeah, that's why. Right, so, don't know where I got to. We're chatting, me and Misha chatting. We're chatting all day, and then she goes to work, because it turns she was going to do a night shift, and normally she works.
Is this like in a Telegram group, is it?
Yeah, in the Telegram. Right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But we were sending voice notes back and forth. She didn't really like doing it, but she said, I gave her the confidence to do it, and she did it, and it's really nice because me and her have connected. I was like, oh God, fuck, you're a girl. And you sound quite young as well. She's 31, right? But because we'd already connected, I was thinking, you know, I wasn't thinking about it didn't matter if she was a girl or a boy. It didn't matter what her sex was, but not gender, sex, male or female. That's it. So it didn't matter what her sex was. She was, we'd already connected, but we'd been chatting for so long. I said to her, look, listen, you got to let me know, and don't get it twisted. I just want to know because I don't want to piss anyone off. If you got a fella at home waiting for you, you know, because are you going to get home and he's going to be like, who's this 007 guy that you've been chatting to loads, you know? Yeah. Well, at that time I was still 007. So she said, oh no, don't worry about that. I'm single and I'm gay. And that, the relief that I felt when she told me she was gay, because I went, that's brilliant. I don't have to worry about any of that. If she's attractive or, you know, because the 20-year-old ego in me was going, oh, me, she sounds quite sexy, yeah. Ooh. And then the other part of me is going, shut up, man. Fucking hell. You just connected as friends. What do you want to go and complicate anything with any of that bollocks for? Every single woman that you've ever got involved with, it's got fucked up. And you started off as friends. So what the fuck? Right? So with knowing that, it was like, oh, right, okay. Hormones? Bye. Don't need you. Don't need you hormones now. And it also gave me, it sort of freed me. It really freed me. It allowed me to be myself completely because I wasn't worried. I wasn't on show. I wasn't trying to present myself to somebody that's, you know, like, I'm a sexy guy and I sing songs and I've done all this stuff. Yeah, none of that shit. So what came out, right? What came out when I'm chatting to her is all these different people that have been sitting inside me for this time. And one or two of you have seen them or heard them. Not so much seen them, you've heard them. But you see, right, the thing is, right, most of the time when I'm singing up on stage, right, this guy, he comes out quite a lot when I'm up on stage after my songs and stuff. So after my songs, so what do you want to listen to now then? Proper West Country, right? I sound more Bristolian than Bristolians, for fuck's sake. And I've got all these different fucking different voices and different characters come out for different situations. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's like I become all these different people, except not all these different people. They're the same people. It's all me. It's all me. I'm just the same person. It's just fucking the way that I'm presenting myself to you. It's just a little bit different, you know. But it's the same mind. The same mind. It's the same ego, just giving a little. It's a different facet of ego. You know what I'm saying, though? You get me, right? And I didn't feel. I used to do that with girlfriends because the girlfriends would make me feel confident enough to do that, and like, yeah, and it'd make, but they'd get all weirded out, and they'd be like, "What? This one's funny, and this one always makes me," because they would. I could make James. Oh gosh, whenever James comes out, you know, hello, darling, you're right. Oh, you look saucy on that. You look delightful. I want to eat you all up. They fucking love that voice, right? But then when I come out and I'm like, what the fuck's going on in here then? And it's Joaquin, they're like, whoa, that makes me feel uncomfortable. And I'm like, what? Is it because I'm not black? And they're like, no, it's because you're like fucking schizophrenic or something. And I'm like, that's fucking rich, that is. You think that just because I can speak in different voices, I can come across as a different character, that means that I'm some sort of fucking schizophrenic. Right? It's just different facets.
We're convinced him.
Right?
Mm.
And most people can't handle it. They can't handle. If I was to just be that out on the street, people would be like, whoa, that guy's fucking schizophrenic. He's got multiple personality disorder, man. And I'd probably get locked up, right? But there is a place for that. And I realised what Misha helped me realise. Dude, what Misha helped me realise was that all I want to do is make people laugh and make people feel better. Best way to feel, you can do it with music, but best way to make people feel better is to make them laugh. And you can make people laugh with music, but I haven't quite captured that yet. But the songs that I've written over the last 2 days have been a lot more light-hearted, and there's a nice message behind one of them. This one, It's Your Movie, it's called. It's a song called It's Your Movie. Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it live? Live a cappella. I'll just sing it to you. Do you remember when we were kids, Cam? When we were kids today won't ever get this, but you remember when we were kids, we didn't have technology. All we had was action figures. With action figures and our imaginations, bikes, and you know, we didn't have. And when computer games came out, they were good fun, but they weren't enough to make you want to just like disappear into them for 4 days, like some computer games can. Now, you know, you get completely absorbed into. I play them. I get a new game and that's it. 4 days or however long it takes me to complete that game, I'm playing it non-fucking stop until it's completed, right? They never used to be like that. They'd be like, you'd still have an element of imagination that you had to put into it. I remember on the Amstrad and on the Commodore 64, right, there was this game, Treasure Island, on the Commodore 64, really pixelated, really like what's that music called? MIDI music, you know. Like it's not beautiful music at all on these games. And like the game that he's playing in Big, you know the game he's playing in Big. You remember that game that he's playing in Big?
Which one?
Goes into the cave and he's got the sword.
I just remember him on the keyboard.
He's got he's playing on the keyboard.
Yeah.
You are standing in the cavern of the evil wizard. Oh, All around you, the carcasses of slain ice dwarves. Melt, wizard. What do you want to melt him with?
I had that game. I used to play that game, right? So it's nothing like it is now. But when I was about 9 or 10, I kid you not, like the way I dreamt about it, the way it manifested in my dream wasn't the same. But I dreamt about iPhones, I dreamt about iWatches, I dreamt about tablets, all of it. Dreamt about all. I had an iPhone watch, except it wasn't an iPhone watch. It was like the diary. You went like that, and this diary came out, and you went like that, and it opened up into a computer, and then you went, and it, and it turned into a games console. It did everything, man, fucking everything, and it's basically it was a smartphone on my wrist, on my wrist kind of thing. I dreamt about that when I was like 10. 1987. So when we're kids, all you want to do is be an adult. That's all I want to have all the rights and privileges of an adult, man. I want to be able to drive cars, and I want to be able to go to these clubs, and I want to be able to, mostly it was I want to be able to drive cars, because then if you could drive a car, you could go anywhere, man. Yeah, if I had a car and a full tank of gas, I'd just go fucking anywhere. And it opened the world up to you, right? But we didn't have any of those rights or privileges because we were kids. We were children. We were treated like children and told, no, if you want these rights and privileges, you're not allowed to be a child anymore. You have to become an adult. And adults are serious. Adults get serious about things. They don't play games. We haven't got time to play games here. We're strategizing. This is a corporate meeting, right? And everything's made serious. And then we get all the programming, and then fear and stress and all that, they all enter. When's the gateway? When does that happen? That gateway, think about Janus. When's that gateway?
11, yeah.
Think about it. Yeah, 11. When you start secondary school or high school or whatever, that's when it is in the UK. I was 11 years old when I went from primary to high school. Right? Well, I was 11. Actually, I was 11 going on 12 when I went into secondary school because I was one of the eldest in my year in secondary school. I was one of the youngest I was the youngest in the year in private school, and then I was the second oldest in my year in normal school. All right. So 11. Right. When I went into secondary school, that's when, and I remember thinking this before when I was going to start. I remember thinking, "Oh man, I have to get a girlfriend and shit now." This is now I start thinking about relationships, and I remember playing game. We would do this thing where it was like we were getting engaged to each other, like, yeah, I'll marry you, and you get a ring and stuff. We were playing this engagement game where we were getting engaged to girls. I got engaged to this girl, and then we went to the cinema, and I started stroking her leg, and then she held my hand, and then it was like, oh my God, she's holding my hand, oh my God. And mate, the excitement of that moment, right? We ended up having a relationship, and I'd snog her. She had the best rack, right? She had the best rack in our year. She was blonde, she was gorgeous, man. Samantha, her name was. And then she finished with me. I didn't understand why, right? And I'd never made the move on her. I'd never tried to get to third base because I was too much of a gentleman. It wasn't because I wasn't thinking about it. It's because I didn't want to offend her. I didn't want to touch her titty and she just go, get off me and go, I didn't want to piss her off. I wanted her to make the move, but she never did that. Right? She finished with me, and then like 2 months later, she went and fucked my mate. And I'm like, hang on a second. You were only with her for like a couple of days, and you got You got to have sex with her? And like, fucking hell, I didn't even touch her tit. You know, it was like that, man. But I was infatuated with her for 7 years. Didn't go out with anybody else, didn't even look at another girl for 7 years. Right? So it was a distraction. And what I realized was it was the hormones. And the hormones kicked in when I was about 10. I started realizing that if you rub your penis, funny things happen, you know. But it was before, like when you're 10, there's no sperm. When you're 10, 11 years old and you masturbate, there's no sperm. But it wasn't for me. And then when I was about 11, 12, I started producing sperm, and I was like, what the fuck is that, man? Like, has something gone wrong with my penis? It looks like pus. What is it? But yeah, and then I found out for myself, because I've always been autodidactic. So I went and looked it up, and I found out for myself. But because I didn't want to go and ask my mum. Mum, I've been rubbing my willy, and then it felt really good. But then, like before, nothing happened, and now this weird pussy white shit's coming out. What's going on? You don't go to ask your mum about that, do you? And I was turned back. I wasn't connected to my dad. We never bonded, so I didn't go and speak to my dad about it. And I was embarrassed that there was something wrong with me, so I didn't speak to anybody else about it. So I went and looked it up. I went to, I got a book and I fucking looked it up. Because there was no internet back. There was no internet back then. Back in the old days when we used to go our proper research, was there, Cam? We used to have to go in blood, sweat, and tears in the library. Right? Get your library card. Make sure you take your books back on time. Otherwise, they won't give you another one. And yeah, so I realised with this meeting Misha, and the way we've connected, it's like she is me. She is actually a female version of me in every way, because I've always said if I was a girl, I'd be gay, wouldn't I? It's like, I would, man. If I was a girl, I'd be gay, because girls are just too nice. It's, the soft skin and the right. So in that respect, she's just like me. We like the same sort of stuff. We've got the same sort of sense of humour. She's fairly new to this journey. She's only got on the path in the last couple of years, only woken up in the last couple of years. But she's waking up quite rapidly. And there's no sexual tension between us. None. No hormones. And that's what gave me the idea to create the magic treehouse. So here's the seed, right? What I'm going to tell you now, and what everybody's going to hear now, this is a seed. And what happens with it with you is up to you. It's like you can let this seed germinate and grow, or you can toss it out and say, fuck it, I don't want a magic treehouse, and toss it out. So it's a magic treehouse, right? In a magic tree. In my mind, it's in Yggdrasil. This is a huge magic treehouse in Yggdrasil. The entrance, because I discovered it, I have defined the entrance to the treehouse, right? You walk in, it's a big fucking oak doors, and you walk in, and like giants could live there, kind of thing. Big oak doors, walk in, and inside it's all really warm, fucking like firelight and crazy lights. There's a fire pit right in the middle of the room. Vaulted ceilings, great big huge vaulted ceilings with beams coming down, like in this kind of, I don't know, just like these beams coming down, like and it's circular. It's a circular room, obviously, because it goes around the tree. But when you go so it's not in the center of the room, because in the center is the trunk of the tree, right? And there's a spiral staircase that goes around the trunk and leads up to the next balcony. the next level, and whatever you want is up there. Like for me, that's where the games room is, and there's all the consoles in there, and the whole fucking wall is an LED TV. It's like IMAX. When you play your PS5 4K, it's on an IMAX fucking TV basically. So downstairs there's the fire pit, and around the fire pit, bean bags, really fucking nice bean bags. All right. But over in the corner, there's a red brick bar. It's like an oak. It's an oak bar, or yeah, it's oak. It's an oak bar, and it's got oak stool or just wooden stools, and it's got all it serves is hot chocolate or milkshakes, soda pops, ice cream, no alcohol at all, and no coffee. No alcohol, no coffee. You can have tea, you can have hot chocolate, or you can have, some sort of infusion, and anything like that, but no coffee and no alcohol. And all the pop drinks are safe, and they don't have any E numbers in them because it's a magic treehouse. Everything in the treehouse is safe. The bean bags around the fireplace, the fire never spits coals out. It's always a perfect fire. They go straight up. They don't come out. So the bean bags never get burnt. You can't get hurt by the fire. Right? It's like you can put your hand in it and it doesn't burn, but it will still heat water. Right? It's magic. It's magic fire. We're magic, right? Because we're spirit. It's our spirit that's entered the greenhouse, yeah? And your spirit has to come in the house. You have to have a childlike spirit. If it's not a childlike spirit, then you won't get in, because you won't even be able to perceive the place. You won't even see it. It's like your crystal city. If you don't have it, you can only see this place with your childlike spirit. And so, red brick bar, soft drinks and all that. There's another fireplace, right? Maybe there doesn't need to be. Maybe this room's changing as I'm thinking about it now. There doesn't need to be another fireplace, because I was forgetting about the trunk in the middle of the room. But anyway, right? What's in here? All around the walls, there's artwork of the artists. They post their artwork up in there, right? Which they have. In my magic treehouse, I've got 2 artists in there now, and another one waiting in the wings to come in. She's just trying to get Signal downloaded. She's got the link and everything. And she can't wait to get in. And she's another version of me. Jodie is another version of me. At the moment, it's only girls that have come in, but that's because I'm waiting for the lads that I've invited to send me their phone numbers so that I can bring them in. Because to come in my club, if you don't trust me with your phone number, I don't trust you in my club, in my magic treehouse, because this magic treehouse is this place is magic. It's where we're going to change the world. The things that we do in this magic treehouse, and the things that this magic treehouse will do for you, right, spiritually and energetically, we're going to change the world, man. So I'll give you an example. I've always wanted this place where I go when no matter if I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling depressed or angry, or if I'm feeling happy and I want to share it. I want to go to this club where I go in and it's, like Cheers, where everybody knows your name, right? You go in there and maybe there's people in there when you go in, and maybe there's not. Maybe you don't have access, you don't have your phone, and but you still want to go there. So you close your eyes and you go there. And because you're not on your phone, you can't actually interact with anyone. You can imagine that there's people there or not. It's up to you. It's all up to your imagination. If there's people there and you talk to them, that's up to you. You could just go in there and chill out. I woke up at 3:30 this morning, right? Last night, I fell asleep thinking, it's Tuesday, man, and I've got this headache again. I feel exactly the same as I did last Tuesday. I wonder, I'm not going to get a download. What's going to happen? Is Chris going to call me? Chris is going to call me. And I fell asleep. Normally, up until now, I reach a point and I go, right, I'm going to sleep now, right? And then this morning, I fell asleep, don't know what time last night, and I woke up at 3:30. Like, boom, why did I wake up at 3:30? Oh no, I'm not excited anymore. Oh, I don't feel like that little boy anymore. Fuck this. I'm going to go in the magic treehouse. So I did. In my mind and on my phone, I went in the magic treehouse. And in my mind, I went in, I ran in, jumped, I dived onto the bean bags, I boing, lay down on my back, looking up at the tree trunk and the beams, thinking, right, I'm gonna make some hot chocolate, and I'm gonna play with the dogs. Let's take the dogs out for a walk and do it. And instantly, all the excitement came back. I remembered everything that had happened the day before, everything that happened yesterday, which is another thing that I need to tell you about, because this is another thing. This is another thing to do with me and my channel. It's to do with me and my channel. An evolution. My channel is evolving into something else. So I went in there and I left a voice note so everybody could hear me. Left a voice note saying, right guys, I don't know where you guys are. You probably were still asleep or something. I just wanted to come in. It's great to kind of see this artwork in here, man. You're fucking amazing. Da, da, da. Left a voice note. And about 10 minutes later, there was a note popped up from Jodie, and Jodie was awake and she got there, so it was like, yes, there's somebody else in the treehouse, man, woo! And it filled me with energy. Just made me feel so good, made me feel so fucking connected and belonging to something, belonging to being part of something, you know? That it was being shared. I know it's being shared. The people that are in there all have the same perception. Well, not exactly the same, but the treehouse exists. It's real in their minds, you know? It's the only place that we can go to it at the moment. It's going to become real. I'm going to make it real. That's what I'm jumping ahead, but it's the Magic Treehouse Retreat Center for Healing.
Nice.
That's what I've already created the business, the Magic Treehouse. I've already created that business on Google. So yeah. As in, just got a Google business account for the Magic Treehouse, basically. So I've changed all my channel names, apart from 007 is still 007, and still I'm going to keep all those videos on there, because that's 007 is who he is, right? Ooh, we need to go back a little bit. Right, so Thursday, after speaking to Misha, at some point, I'm walking past the mirror. I just went, stopped. It was like, this voice just went, look in the mirror. So I turn and I look in the mirror. And I look at myself. And then it just went, click. Like my perspective just went, click, 3 degrees. And suddenly, whoa, shit. Oh, hey man, like the big guys here, like my higher self had entered the building, and my soul was there as well. And this happened to me a couple of years ago, if you remember. It's happened to me before, and I've had this me, myself, and I stood there just apologizing profusely and crying. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I've just disrespected my body. Blah, 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 blah. But it didn't sink in properly, and my subconscious was still programmed in a certain way. A couple of weeks ago, I did the meditation. I made that meditation that said, let's see if I can find it. It said basically, I am fully conscious of my true worth. I give my talents with sincere love. All that sort of stuff, you know? and it was like a mantra repeated 5 times, and I did it with music and everything. So I don't know what it is. It's not here. That was a couple of weeks ago, and I did it a couple of times, and then I stopped. My higher self took over me and spoke to me. I didn't say anything. I just started crying. I was like, I just suddenly filled up with this emotion. I felt overwhelmed with unconditional love. That's what it felt like. And he just said to me, "That's it. You've done it. Like, well done. You've done your time. You've paid your price. You've paid your dues. You've atoned for your sins. You've done the inner work. You've done everything that I asked you to do. So now, here you go. Right? And now just know that you fully deserve everything now. So don't stop denying who you are. Stop denying who you are. You know who you are. Stop denying it. That's who you are. This is what's going to happen as a result. And just own it, man. Own it. This is who you are. This is your movie. This is your movie. You know the character that you're playing. Own it. Be that person. Because you will be. Like, it's like you what you want, what you think you can do, all of those things. Yes, you can do them. From that moment on, I was able to remote view.
It's up to you now. So who you gonna be?